Reading.
Listen and practice.
One morning a few years ago, I was getting ready to go to the university as usual. It was a normal weekday, and I had an early class. I woke up quickly because I was already a little late. I took a fast shower, got dressed, grabbed my bag, and left the house without paying much attention to my clothes. At that moment, my only goal was to catch the bus on time. Every day I took the same bus to the university. The bus stop was not very far from my house, so I usually walked there. The streets were still quiet that morning and the air was fresh. Some people were going to work and a few students were also walking toward the bus stop. When I arrived at the bus stop, I noticed that only a few people were waiting there. I was used to that because I often arrived earlier than most people. I stood near the sign and waited for the bus. Usually I stayed alone and spent the time thinking about the day ahead, my classes, my assignments, and the things I had to do. While I was waiting, I suddenly noticed something unusual. A girl standing a few meters away was looking at me. At first, I didn't think much about it. People sometimes look at each other while waiting for the bus. But after a few seconds, I realized that she was still looking at me. I felt a little surprised. I tried to act normal and looked away for a moment. Then I looked back again, and she was still looking in my direction. At that moment, many thoughts started to come into my mind. I began to wonder why she was looking at me like that. Maybe she thought she recognized me. Maybe she was also a student at the same university. Or maybe, just maybe, she liked me. This last idea made me a little nervous but also curious. After a moment, I started imagining different possibilities. I thought that maybe she wanted to talk to me. Perhaps she had seen me before on the bus or at the university. I even wondered if she was waiting for the right moment to start a conversation. From time to time, our eyes met, and then I quickly looked away. I didn't want to seem strange, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was not every day that someone looked at me like that at a bus stop. After a few minutes, something unexpected happened. The girl slowly walked toward me. My heart started beating faster because I thought she was really going to talk to me. I tried to stand normally and look calm, even though inside I felt a little nervous. She stopped in front of me and smiled politely. "Excuse me," she said. "Yes," I answered, trying to sound confident. She hesitated for a moment, as if she wasn't sure how to say what she wanted to say. Then she spoke again. "I'm really sorry to tell you this," she said, "but I think you are wearing your pants upside down." For a second, I didn't understand what she meant. My mind went completely blank. Then I looked down at my pants. To my absolute shock, she was right. Because I had been in such a hurry that morning, I had put on my pants the wrong way. The back was in the front, and the front was in the back. Suddenly, everything made sense. That was probably why she had been looking at me for several minutes. I felt extremely embarrassed. My face became hot, and I didn't know what to say. All the ideas I had imagined just a few minutes earlier suddenly seemed very funny and very foolish. "Oh, really?" I said quietly, even though I could clearly see that she was right. "Yes," she said kindly. "I wasn't sure if I should tell you, but I thought you might want to know before you got to the university." At that moment, I felt grateful and embarrassed at the same time. I quickly thanked her for telling me. "Thank you very much," I said. "I was in such a hurry this morning that I didn't even notice." She smiled again. "No problem," she said. "It happens sometimes." Luckily, there was a small corner near the bus stop where I could fix the problem without many people noticing. I quickly went there and turned my pants the right way. When I came back, the girl was still there, waiting for the bus like everyone else. This time, however, I felt much more relaxed, and we both laughed about the situation. A few minutes later, the bus arrived. We got on and sat in different seats. I spent the rest of the ride thinking about what had happened. At first, I had imagined a romantic story in my head. I thought the girl might like me or wanted to start a conversation. But in reality, she was simply being kind and trying to help me avoid an embarrassing situation at the university. That day taught me two important lessons. First, it is always a good idea to check your clothes before leaving the house, especially when you are in a hurry. Second, sometimes the stories we imagine in our minds are very different from reality. Even today, when I remember that morning at the bus stop, I can't help laughing. It was an embarrassing moment, but it also became a funny memory that I will never forget.